We know how this movement started. We know when it started to go left. And we know how to get it back on track by getting back to the basics. Grassroots, community, organizing. So let's get back to our blueprint for Black unity by doing it how Marcus Garvey did it, like how MOVE did it, and like how the Black Panther Party did it. By feeding, clothing, housing, healing, educating, training, mobilizing, and organizing the people towards one goal and one purpose: Black freedom. So if you want to connect with other like-minded Black people around the world and build a real Black liberation movement, go to the IBFA.org and tap in.
Yo. Y'all muted. Let me unmute you. There y'all go.
Peace.
Tap in one time with us.
One time for the one time. Man.
So it's another week of revolutionary education and discussion.
Yeah.
Definitely glad to be here. Glad to have everybody here with us. Everybody that's going to tap in with us. You know, make sure you like and share on all platforms. We appreciate that. So how you feeling this week? How you feeling, Tori?
I'm feeling good. I just took a little walk. Trying to walk it out, trying to get in shape. Had a little challenge from some brothers and sisters that the gun club people. So I'm gonna take them up on this challenge. I need to get in shape, but I know I'm gonna outshoot them though. So I'm a long gun guy. I ain't never had a handgun. I'm more of a get somewhere and get somebody. So we're gonna do some running. We're gonna do all that, and we're gonna see what the challenge is gonna be in a couple weeks. So I'll take them up on this offer. I feel good though. How y'all feeling? Birthday was birthdays over there, wasn't it?
Who birthday? No. Oh, our friends.
Y'all was outside.
We be out at the Monday nights go down.
Right. Random birthdays. We celebrate all of them.
Okay.
Black folks, whoever. But we feeling good, man. So we feeling good this week. Everything is well. Of course, we had a busy week as usual. But we on point. Glad to be here. I'm glad to hear, saying what you got going on for sure. And I think we'll talk a little bit about the gun collectives and gun clubs and what role they play or could play in building the movement and, helping us achieve freedom. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. And I'm glad to hear that they motivating you, When you say
a challenge of man ego and stuff. That's gonna make you come up out your body.
Man, people really walking on crates, bro. Just people walking on crates just because they feel like it's a challenge. Like, I could do this, even though the probability is low for most people to get over them crates. But it's like, it's a challenge. You challenging me?
Challenge. So
special kind of species. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you got put us out there. That's why political education is key. Like St. Corbett said, a soldier with a gun without political education is a potential, terrorist. So, I'm just trying to keep my mind right, but I'm still gonna get the stick out. Let them know how I'm doing that.
Oh yeah. And at the same time, a lot of these collectives. Criticism that I've had is that they lack the revolutionary education, the political education. So to have a brother that is politically educated, just to be in those circles is good because it's gonna rub off. But I've been seeing a big improvement over the last couple years on these gun clubs and the political education that they give in their cadre. I've seen a big improvement because that was one of my criticisms. So to have somebody like you around, somebody like me or Z or somebody like that, that's just going to always pop revolutionary talk. Mm-hmm. Even in our common regular conversation is what we talk about. It's a good thing because it's going to rub off.
For sure.
Let's see how you feeling this week.
Me? I'm great. He made me say that. No, I'm just playing. No.
Hey, we feeling good this week. I like this.
But no, this was a good week. Another great week of school. So that always makes me happy. When the students are retaining all of this stuff we're talking about today, they're retaining it on their level. And they really are going home and being our biggest advocates of this new African nationalism, all of this, like really, they going home and dropping it on their parents. So, and in turn, we have those discussions in the Rising when they drop them off. So that's been great. Also, us linking up every week. Like I said, I always enjoy that. You know, I always enjoy iron and sharpening iron and see what we've learned this week and what mistakes we can learn from and all of that good stuff. But it's been great. So I'm ready to get free. Let's do it.
I say.
Where Travis at, man? He ain't on here. He ain't in the studio.
You know, it's an hour. He an hour ahead, so I think it's dinner time type. So he might slide in. You know, Travis, he might slide in. We be mid conversation. Gonna say, hey, what's up, y'all?
Right. They go Kool-Aid smile.
He always brings good energy. You can talk about a serious conversation, ready to cry, man. They're gonna bring some good positive energy in. So that's what's up.
Right.
So I guess we just I guess we kind of did check-ins, for the people who is on, go and share this. And I guess we'll jump into our topic. So just here at the IBFA in general, we aim to build a Pan-African movement, led from the bottom up, a grassroots movement by the people, for the people. That's our ultimate aims and to get free, to heal, to get free, especially. None of this works. None of our actions matter if our intentions aren't to get free. So this is what we're doing. We're trying to get free. And for this next couple weeks, we're talking about the 4 pathways that the IBFA has identified to help us get free. 4 pathways of action. This organization wants to be an inclusive organization, right? And we want everybody to have a part and have a role. So again, if your part is politics, we got a place for you. If you believe that economics is our way to freedom, we got a place for you. If you believe that building a movement, grassroots organizations, black farming, community gardens is our way to freedom, we got a place for you. So these couple of weeks, we just explaining those 4 pathways, which are,
the ballot, the bullet, the buck, and the boat.
The ballot, the bullet, the buck, and the boat. And the ballot, the ballot and bullet, the concept comes from, of course, Malcolm X and his speech and what he believed. So we're kind of building upon those 2 aspects when we talk about the ballot and the bullet. So again, if you believe in the electoral vote as a way to allow us to get free, or even allow us to sustain while we're on our way to freedom, that's what we call the ballot. And you can join our organization and hop right in with the brothers and sisters that are working on the ballot all across the nation. So again, this is local, national, and international, right? So wherever this may lead us, the ballot. Today, we're going to be talking about the bullet. And this is, it's what it sounds like. It's using some force. It's building a movement. It's causing some disruption, right? It's direct action. So today, we're going to be talking about that direct action. And next week, we're going to be talking about, I believe, the buck, right? And we're talking about Black economics. We're talking about cooperatives. We're talking about just how to circulate our dollar in and out our communities more, right? How to build dollar power, I guess. So we'll be talking about that. And finally, the boat. So the boat kind of comes from like the Garvey philosophy of going back to Africa, not just going back to Africa, but building positive relationships with our brothers and sisters on the continent, right? When we talk about the boat, we're talking about separating from America in whatever form or fashion we see fit, right? Building a nation. We're talking about building a nation outside of this current system, right? Especially building relationships with our brothers and sisters on the continent. So those are the 4 pathways, and that's kind of like what the next couple of weeks are going to be about, and what last week was about. Want to add anything to that?
No, that was great. Great explanation.
Thanks. All right. So this week again, we're talking about the bullet. Tori, I don't know. You want to play the audio? from.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead and run that. We'll talk about it.
Here go Brother Malcolm X and the famous speech, Ballad of the Bullet.
This is why I say it's the ballot or the bullet. It's liberty or it's death. It's freedom for everybody or freedom for nobody. America today finds herself in a unique situation. Historically, revolutions are bloody. Oh, yes, they are. They have never had a bloodless revolution or a nonviolent revolution. That don't happen even in Hollywood. You don't have a revolution in which you love your enemy. And you don't have a revolution in which you are begging the system of exploitation to integrate you into it. Revolutions overturn systems. Revolutions
Right, I wanted that to keep going.
You know,
Oh God, yeah, I'm finna go cut some more up because I can see things. That's what I'm doing on the back end because I was listening to it in the AirPods because it's a couple sections, even the point that you said last week about us being political chumps.
yeah, man.
Yeah, and it's like you said it, and I think about it in the context is that Malcolm, he's killed in '65, so basically he was 20 years before a bloodless revolution.
Right.
So he never saw it. So in the context, he right. He ain't never seen it. But even that revolution ended with, with him being killed. So it's a good concept. It's a good thought. But I'm finna go dig some more and go get some more videos. So peace out.
We need that. All right. So again, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate all the work you're doing on the back end and technical work. So again, when we're talking about freedom, when the IBFA is talking about freedom, when we're talking about liberation, we're talking about a whole overthrow of this current system, period. Anything in between is we're just trying to survive. But ultimately, we want a whole separation from this system. We want to overthrow this system. We want a revolution. And like Baba Malcolm X said, like Baba Shabazz said, man, they're 9 times out of 10, it's going to be some bloodshed. It's already been bloodshed. We already are at a war that's almost one-sided right now since the first day that these Europeans kidnapped Africans off the coast, off the west coast of Africa, period. We've been at war. They taught us to be at war with ourselves. So again, the first blows have already been thrown. But it's our duty, if we want freedom, to advance this revolution. And in order to advance this revolution, everybody has to play their role, right? Again, like we said, if it's politics, which we need, which is very important, right? Again, the vote is very important in a lot of situations. It's needed, right? We need to elect people that make our road to liberation easier, right? We need to put some people in place to disrupt the system, right? We need to put elect some people in place to expose the system, right? So again, today we're talking about the bullet. When it comes to Malcolm X, he says revolution, right, is our only way to total freedom. And like the brother said, that was in '65 when they were still talking about integration, talking about integrating businesses, schools, so on and so forth. And he was clearly against that because he knew the consequences of us integrating with white society, with this white supremacist society. So again, we're trying to change this system. We're talking about the bullet today. So some of this information I'm gonna read off, you can find on the website, the IBFA.org. That is the IBFA.org. And I encourage everybody to go to the website and just at least get on the mailing list and sign up to be a part of the movement. But again, we identified the four pathways to freedom. Today, we're talking about the bullet. The bullet. So let me go down. So the philosophy of the bullet. It say for those of us who believe that Black freedom begins when we improve it when we improvement of the material and moral conditions of our people. This campaign would look like programs, services, protests, and conscious raising events that will unify our people to a level that will allow us to create entire cities where black power is the culture. Objective 1, build and sustain institutions that will teach our people healthy cultural practices of Black love, Black unity, Black power amongst ourselves. Objective 2 is to organize our people to a level where every Black life is provided the space to flourish and their quality of life is protected by any means necessary. Period. So the bullet as it relates to the IBFA looks like building a movement. It looks like being out in the community, identifying programs and institutions to build for our people scientifically, not just going out in the community saying we need job training programs, not just going out in the community thinking we know what this particular community needs, wants, or what things can serve this community. So it looks like getting out there, putting our boots on the ground. It looks like direct action when things happen in our society. So when we have police shooting brothers and sisters down, it looks like direct action, going to those stations, getting on the front line in protest. Right. Mm-hmm. A lot of times revolutionaries are against protests for whatever reason, like these, known revolutionaries or these known personalities say, I'll never protest. I'll never get out there and march. Right. They're basically saying, I'll never get out there with the people. You know what I'm saying? I'll never get out there shoulder to shoulder with the people. Right. If the people want to march, we marching. Right. The people want to protest, we protest. And the people boycotting, we boycotting.
We can talk about
other
stuff later.
We'll talk about everything else. We'll raise the consciousness as we can. But I would never say I'm not going to be protesting with my people because that's a part of the movement, right? That's a part of disruption. That's a part of bringing attention to the problems that we're trying to solve pending this revolution, right? So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the bullet, right? Being in solidarity with the people.
Having tangible resources for the people. Like you said, that's direct actions to me as well. Is something happening and us being directly able to help them like right away. Not to tell them, let's get on this list for the next 2 years and then maybe you'll get some housing, or get on this list for no, we're like directly have somewhere now for you to go.
Right. Let's buy some land. Let's buy this. Let's do this. Build these institutions now. Right. And again, we're revolutionary. So again, we talk about revolution. So after the revolution, what will we have? Right. Certain things we got to learn now. Certain things we have to practice now. And a part of that practice is defending ourselves. A part of that practice is having institutions that advance our people along the lines in society. A part of that is learning how to govern ourselves, practicing governing ourselves in an organized way. Right. And some of these things are already happening within our society, but we just need it on a bigger level. Right. So again, pending revolution, we need to have these institutions in place. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about the bullet in the IBFA, we're talking about building these institutions that are needed. Again, here, objective 1, I read it again. Build and sustain institutions that teach our people healthy cultural practices of Black love, Black unity, and Black power amongst ourselves. So build and sustain institutions. The key to this is building institutions that or having a way to sustain these institutions. A lot of the times we get funding from these NGOs, or we start a nonprofit and they'll fund our program for a year or two. And after that funding is up, the program's up, right? Because it wasn't self-sustained. It wasn't community sustained. It wasn't collectively sustained by our people. So those are the type of things that we're trying to circumvent here at the IBFA. Again, we need safe places in our community for our people to go to build positive, healthy relationships. Right. We need places in our community for our people to go to learn, right, about ourselves, about our culture. You know, we need computer labs ran by our people. We need these institutions within our community for our youth. You know, we need institutions that protect our women and our men when they need to get out of or trying to get out of abusive relationships.
Our
We need
healing
those resources.
institutions, our yoga and Reiki and all of our healers. We need those institutions as well.
Right. And with the building of these institutions, we have to have the capacity to protect these institutions, right? To know how to protect these institutions, so on and so forth. We'll hop into that in a second. Our second objective is to organize our people to a level where Black life is provided the space to flourish and the quality of and their quality of life is protected by any means necessary. So again, just like I said before, we need what we call at Spirit House, you know, harm-free zones. We need spaces where Black folks are protected, feel protected, and they know no harm is gonna come upon them, especially if you're in this community, or if you're of this community, or if you're of this ideology, right? So, and again, and that's to be protected by any means necessary, right? I always like to say by any means and all means necessary, right? So when we're talking about protecting children, we're talking about protecting women. It's by any means necessary. So I guess we'll get into talking a little bit about the other aspect of the bullet, you know, self-defense. How do we protect ourselves? You know, what institutions need to be built so we can have some force behind our political institutions that we're trying to build, right? So if there's no even a peaceful movement can't move forward in a white supremacist, violent driven society like this if there's no threat of violence. So even when we talk about Martin Luther King's protests, again, it worked because there was still a threat of violence. There was still a threat that these brothers and sisters will uprise and rebel and cause some harm, cause some disruption, right? So again, having that threat of violence. So how do we do that? You know, of course, we have right now we have many different formations, many different militias within a new African Black community, right? That do offer a source of training, self-defense, that do offer some tactical response, right, to certain situations, some search and response when we have disasters, right? So these are the type of things that we're going to have to build. And again, it's mostly in the South because that's where the gun laws are lenient. But these are the type of institutions that we're going to have to build on a national level and international level to be able to protect what we are building, right? To be able to protect these institutions, to be able to protect, you know, our politics, right? To be able to protect our economic system that we're trying to build, whatever we're trying to build, our planes that we buy, you know, our land that we buy. We have to be able to protect this, and I believe it's the duty of everybody to be able to, right?
Well, money.
So, yep.
You said the South is probably better equipped for the gun rules and the gun laws. Can you kind of go into that a little bit more compared to like Cali or New York or other places in the country?
Yeah, most definitely. So usually across the lines, you know, we live in a red state, you know, and usually across the political lines, Republicans are usually more lax with the gun laws, right? So we live in one of those states where you can open carry. I believe they're trying to make the law where you can open carry at 18 a handgun, you know, without having to, well, you can open carry period right now, right? But I think they're trying to make it to where you can open carry or conceal carry at 18 without having to go get no type of permit or anything. hunting and outdoor sports is still a way of life for a lot of people in the South, right? So everybody has guns. You know, me and my wife, there's an expectancy that every car or every other car in the South has a firearm in it. No matter what race you are, black or white, everybody got guns. Versus more liberal states like California, where they have strict gun laws, and it's almost impossible to own a gun if you're not in law enforcement of some sort. Same thing with Chicago, you know, same thing with New York. These states have more strict gun laws, and they advocate for more strict gun laws across the board. But yes, the South is more equipped, and it's not a taboo to have guns out here. It's not taboo to see somebody in Walmart with a firearm on their waist, right? And again, it's only taboo when you see black people doing it. So again, the South has helped me, even in my mind, change the narrative that black people aren't supposed to have guns, right? Because you see a lot of people with them. But yes, the South is in a position to where, you know, we won't get harassed for having firearms, right? You know, they you know, we can walk around open carry, and that prevents a lot of issues. You know, that just shows that I'm going to protect myself, and that prevents a lot of things from happening to you, so to speak. And that includes from the police or whatever. If the police see that you're you're armed, right, they're going to treat you a little bit different. And it's no coincidence that a lot of these police shootings happen in states where the gun laws are strict, you know. So again, I don't want to get into that, but it's different in the South. But yes, we're in a more strategic position to protect what we build here in the South.
My apologies. I'm just getting back.
I'm
good? Sorry.
What's good, Travis? You chiming in, Hood Scholar? I seen you pop in for a second.
What's up, y'all?
Peace.
How y'all feeling?
Nice. Dude, I'm feeling that.
Yeah, yo. How y'all been?
All is well, brother. All is well. Busy week, but all is well.
I did hear y'all intro. Z had some jokes about my Kool-Aid smile.
There it is. We've been waiting on it.
We need that, man. We need that.
We need that in our lives.
Nah, y'all. So I think we would be remiss. We gotta shout out Mama Julia.
Okay.
Because she's actually our director of Black Power.
I say.
Yep.
And so she's important because the bullet, this is her, and she the one, like, so remember, we are in Ubuntu, right? So it's like we have a balance between the core team, and even though I'm on the revolutionary education side, and my thing is, of course, I want to go back to African the Boat. Y'all know Tori was on last week with the ballot. That Black Power joint, this bullet, that's Mama Julia, y'all. So shout out to Mama Julia. But I would say
definitely
just a quick and we're killing it. A quick summation about the bullet. You can really say the bullet is power. So when we think about the bullet, we talking about Black Power, right? And then if you're talking about power, right, then you gotta look at what do we need to have power in this nation, right? As colonized, and that's why, like, I took that clip from so y'all, what's up? Let me say it. Y'all know me. The reason I picked that clip, I was on comments. So let me tell you why I picked that clip. Like Tori said, like y'all mentioned earlier, it was a bunch of other clips that I could have chosen, right? But with that one, it basically showed how we need there's no way for us to get free, right, without any power. Like, how can you have a revolution? How can you have a complete change in the system if you don't have any power? And so what power looks like, right? there's some level of violence. Listen to what Malcolm X said. He said, even Hollywood said, right? Hollywood, which is a off of film, even said that you got to have some type of violence and revolution, right? And of course, we had and you touched on this already, Bo. Of course, we had the false dichotomy between X and King, right? Because even X said in a later part of that speech, he said, "No, we all want freedom. It's just that this is my role in the movement." What X in that false dichotomy, but the thing that X is saying that, look, we gotta have violence. As we must. And that's what I love Mama Julia, because Mama Julia, shout out to Mama Julia, she was saying this. Of course, people have been saying this for a long time, but in recent history, she was saying this in 2014. So in the middle of the Ferguson uprising, she was like, look, y'all, we got to get violent. And what happened in Ferguson, right? What did they try to say? They tried to say, they tried to come at the Ferguson protesters because they were being what? Violent. Because they had the Molotov cocktails and it was blowing up. And that's what I'm saying. They were flipping from buildings, right? But that's what led to the real change.
Right.
And so what Mama Julia was saying, look, this is what we need if we want to get free. So that's why I chose that clip from X, because X is saying, look, how are we going to have a revolution without any violence? Or how are we going to have a revolution without any power? So when we talk about the bullet, and what y'all have done a good job of explaining, is how can we as Black people who have been dealing with colonization, right? X said we've been fighting colonization for 400 years. How can colonized Black people so that's what the bullet is. Bullet is, look, us who have been fighting colonization, who have been on the other end of colonization, getting power and coming together and getting free.
That's great. Very good analysis, Doctor.
So yeah, y'all were talking about so yeah, I was following you. I was like changing diapers and, and doing stuff while I was following y'all. But y'all were just talking about how we protect our institutions. Just
yeah. So like you said, man, we need power, right? We need what is power? Yeah. You know, is it just brute force? Is it, you know, what is power? What's the definition of power? What's the definition of Black power? Right. And then another question, Doctor, is that how do we facilitate and have Black power in this white supremacist context, right? Or in this society that we have right now?
Oh.
He's
no.
Bye.
That was a quick cameo.
Yeah, well.
So again, how is it? You know, how
he was looking at you. Look, I should have said Bo and Z. So part of that, right, is Ubuntu, Black unity, right?
Yeah.
So that's what X talked about. X said the problem, the plan has always been to divide and conquer. So we see this all the time on social media, right? Mm-hmm. We see Black people fighting back and forth. But a phrase I always use is this, because we're talking about fourth pathways to the freedom, but we talk about a 23 Pan-African movement, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what would a 21st century Pan-African movement look like? I always say this: you can't have a local Pan-African,
right,
just by itself. And what I mean by that is, if you are truly Pan-African, right, as in truly working with people across the world, usually truly working with Africans across the world, then you cannot only do that in your local community, right? You can do it in your local community, but this is the IBFA difference, right? We saying you need to do that in your local community, but you also need to do that in your local community with people in well, African people in their local community.
Right.
So then this is what Black Power look like, right? This looks like, look, y'all got something going on in Birmingham. And y'all got, and look, yo, like now people from St. Louis, from Ferguson, from Richmond, Virginia, from Williamsburg. Oh, y'all got something going on? Hey, let's roll up to Birmingham and help them out too. Y'all see that? That's Black Power right there, right?
Yeah.
Now it's not just this little small group of people in Birmingham. It's a full entire organization that's organized together. And now, what if we got some people in South Africa too? So you saying you got people in South Africa who care about what's going on in Birmingham? Woo!
Right.
That's what Black Power look like.
Right. The other aspect of that, I was just thinking about the Pan-African ideology, right? It's the aspect of that we all have the same mission.
Yeah.
Right. I may not be able to ever meet nobody outside of Alabama, let alone, the Caribbeans or South America. But if we all on that same mission, if we all on one accord, we building power. That's mechanism, right? That's that. Like I said, and I believe at the context of power that we're talking about right now, with unity, it implies that we're all on the same accord.
Yeah.
Right. So if we all could get on the same mission when it comes to electoral politics, if we all could get on the same mission when it comes to economics, if we all could get on the, so on and so forth, I think that's where our Black Power comes in at, And
that's what I was really going to say. To me, now that we're talking about it out loud, to me, Black Power is being able to make economical, political, and cultural change when we see fit, not the opposition. When we decide we want to change this, that's where, and also power looks like people thinking twice before they mess with us. You feel me? Because we packing over here. So please tread lightly. That's another thing about power. People just ain't trying to attack you because they know you got something brewing and you have protection around your resources. Yeah. So that's what Black Power looks like to me.
Yeah. And when we ask ourselves, what's the number one, and you already said it when you first jumped on, is what's the number one thing they use to prevent us from continuing to build power? And it's the separate. What's the little cliche? The divide and conquer tactics, right? They keep us divided, right? So again, that's their biggest play on not allowing us to get power. In the ways that they keep us divided, right? In the ways that we perpetuated ourselves, even sometimes unknowingly, right? Yeah. So, the right versus the left, the lower class versus the upper class,
right.
The light skin versus the dark skin. And we can never amass the type of power that we're talking about if I can't get past organizing with a light skinned sister or a light skinned brother and I'm dark skinned.
Right.
Or I can't get past organizing with somebody who's more conservative in ideology than me. Right.
And you know what's crazy, bro? Like on the real, like, because I remember talking to Tori about this. Like when we was younger in the hood, we didn't care about none of
right.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, do y'all remember any of this stuff back when you was in the hood? Like, oh, he light skin, he dark skin, he did see that.
Nah, it's like you play basketball, I play basketball. Let's go hoop.
Let's go hoop.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, no, his families are Moors. We can't play with y'all. Like, what is that? Like, I don't even know what that was.
Like, you say you not really black, so we can't go.
No, we can't. Nah.
Or look, you want some more or what?
Nah, So again, it's those things that keep us divided. Those are the things that we have to conquer. Right. So those divisions are the things that we have to conquer through our institutions.
Right.
So like we said, we want to build safe places where we can advance, teach our culture, build our culture, create new culture. We want to build safe places for that. In order to be able to build unity, we need to build spaces where Black folks are coming to do rituals together.
Right.
You know,
we love their Blackness.
We got dumb rituals that we do. You know, we got shit like the BET Awards where everybody go to. You know, we got shit like that. What other dumb shit that we do each year that need to be on some. You know, we got
still going on.
I'm about to say used to be the Freaknik, but I ain't gonna call that dumb.
Man, don't do that.
No, I'm just trying to think of the.
but some of these things have
not
Super Bowl games, right?
Oh, yeah.
Things that really don't, things
that's white anyway.
Alabama, in Alabama, it's become like ritualistic to watch Alabama games and to root for them and to, so again, like certain things that we as Black folks largely have made ritualistic. We need to be making other things of our ritual. We need to ritualistically be reading to our children. You know what I'm saying?
And let me jump in right here, right? And this is what Mama Julia said. We need to make Kwanzaa Black, right?
Oh, for
I said Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And so this is that, and see, this is why she's a director of Black Power, right?
Yeah.
This makes sense because this is a very Black ritual. It's black through and through, and it does exactly what you're saying. It brings everybody involved, from the kids to the elders.
Right.
One of our elders was talking on the show last night about how we need to continue to create our own culture here, right? So we do it in a way. Right, but to intentionally do it, to intentionally say these are our holidays or these are our months. The brother put together a calendar, and I'm gonna share it with y'all too. I want y'all to. I'm gonna share the show with y'all, and I'll share the website. But he put a whole new African spirituality website of things how we can start adding rituals to our day, right? And some of the things are already in line with what we're doing, right? So, Mama Julia be happy to know that the days of the week, we coincide them with the Nguza Saba, with the 7 principles, right? So our children is Monday, we're talking about unity. I'm saying Tuesday we're talking about self-determination, or the theme for the day is self-determination, right? But we got a small little collective of students that's getting this. Everybody ain't getting this. So if we were practicing this as a nation, as a community, it'll have more power to it.
Yeah.
Right. So these are the things that we're talking about when we say what is power, because it's spiritual power, political power,
that's
land power.
We're talking about that spiritual power.
Yo, you spitting.
We all I don't want to say celebrated. We're commemorating.
Yeah.
Kwanzaa all across the world. That's evoking some spirits of our ancestors right there. Like that power just gets stronger and stronger as we collectively, the more and more of us that come collectively to the center.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like we need that. That's Black power right there for real.
So these are the things that again with the IBFA that we hope to foster within our communities, right? Yeah. We definitely want the black school collectives, the black clubs in these universities to be celebrating Blackness, right? Black nationalism, to be celebrating Thomas and Carr as well as Malcolm X, man, as well as Asada, right? Instead of just the normal thing, the market. To be putting on community Kwanzaa events to spread the Nguza Saba, right? To spread the positive message that Kwanzaa has associated with it.
The crazy part is I want to say one thing, and then I want us to transition. We also need to reclaim a lot of things, y'all. So because I want to hear you, I want you to share that story you shared with us, Monty, when we was in Birmingham. But look at Juneteenth right now. Juneteenth is turned into a white holiday, basically. I'm like, yo, come on now.
And all it took was them giving us a day off.
Or again, they sanctioned it, you know what I'm saying? But so again, it also, for some reason, nobody cared about it until they started saying something about it.
But that's the thing. People did, though, right? There were people who were celebrating.
And I was going to say, for the people like us who were commemorating that moment, it's like, dang, you motherfuckers let them hijack this.
Right.
Because you didn't care about it before. right? So
but Marty, tell us about that. Remember you was telling me about that school that those, because I'm saying we need to reclaim it. How white people basically took an African name and made.
Oh, okay. So, and I want to say this right. So shout out to Mama Itahara. She's one of the elders that came and she taught us, right? She encouraged us. She brought new African-centered education concepts to us that were unknown to us before, right? And she told us the story of, I guess I was telling Tori and them that if we don't use what we have, right? If we don't use our Sankofa and we don't use our culture, they're going to use it, right? They're going to take it and they're going to use it. So if we're not using Kwanzaa, believe me, somebody's sitting watching how they can capitalize on it. Just like with Juneteenth, many of us didn't care about it, talk mess about it. And we allowed them to come in and say, oh, let's make Juneteenth a holiday. Whereas in our community, it was already a holiday. It just wasn't enough of us celebrating it. All right, so there's an African concept of Kindezi or Kindezi, and that concept is the art of babysitting, right?
Congo art.
The Kikongo art is the philosophy of babysitting, and how in most Western communities, and I could go get the book in a second, Dr. Fukuyao. But in most of our cultures, right, we look at babysitting as one of the lowest things to do in society, right? Babysitting is so insignificant that in our society, we get teenagers to come or younger to babysit, right? Because it's not really a significant thing in Western culture, right? Whereas in our culture, in many African cultures, babysitting or the art of babysitting was very important because our children are the most important things that we have in our society, and we ought to be molding them in every moment that we get, right? So again, throwing our children away like they don't mean anything, and just having somebody come sit and watch them for 8 hours, that's anti in our culture, right? So we have this, and I can get deeper in future sessions about the Kindezi. But right now, I just want to make this example. So we have this beautiful, beautiful philosophy about the art of babysitting, raising our children, and specifically how our children relate to our elders, right? And I've never heard of this philosophy. Many of you who are watching this probably just heard of this for the first time, right? But these white people, right? They heard of of Kindezi and said the art of babysitting, and they went and built a whole institution in Atlanta, right, with the name Kindezi, right? And of course, we're going to be attracted to it because it sounds African. They advertise that the Kindezi, the art of babysitting. They didn't even say the art of babysitting. They just advertise it as a black school, right? And they say they're using the philosophy of the Kindezi. But if you look on the website, or you go to the school, and I believe it's in Atlanta, you see that it has no connection with the Kikongo art of babysitting, right?
And unbeknownst to them, luckily, I'm not even gonna say luckily, the ancestors were there. That Mama Itahari is in Atlanta where they opened this school. So of course she was able to go ahead and check that, but of course there wasn't enough, what would you say? Not enough supporters. As far as knowing our systems.
Right. So again, if we're not using these concepts that we have, they're going to take them and commercialize them. Right. Again, as we see it with this, and it's not an African-centered school. Right. The Kindezi implies African-centeredness. Right. And it's not even black-centered. There's nothing about it is. So again, they just took this name and they're going to build a whole brand out of it. So one day, if I wanted to name or if I wanted to come with the concept publicly of the Kindezi, they can try to sue me because I'm saying the name of their school or this or that, right? Another example that I gave you was with the phrase Hakuna Matata, right? That phrase was a phrase before Lion King discovered it, right? So that phrase had been used, it's Swahili. It's no worries. That's been a phrase, but they tried to trademark it. Right. And if they trademark that phrase, that means, you know, they can sue us if I post it, or they can sue us if we say it, or if I'm on this platform talking about Hakuna Matata, which is the Swahili language, you know, they have the rights to it.
Or Rafiki or Simba or anything else that are Swahili words already as well. So
again, if we don't use what we have, if we don't use Ubuntu, right? Ubuntu, if we don't use that, we're going to see it on some commercial or some capitalist business saying that his Fortune 500 company is based off the concept of Ubuntu, and he's never even read into the concept. It just sounded good and people were using it, right? People are going to start using our Sankofa symbol, saying Sankofa, and using our symbol and our Ndikra symbols, right? Those Ndikra symbols are going to become commercialized if we don't use them. So if we're not spreading them and we're not showing our kids and our children, they're going to use them because they know that we identify and it feels good to us, right? So when they start putting the Egyptian stuff on stuff, like, it feels good for us to wear that type of stuff, you know, and it's not for us because it's not by us. Again, by us supporting these ideas after they come with it, we think we're supporting a good idea, right? Like the Black Lives Matter. It's like, oh, it's Black Lives Matter. It sounds like it's a good idea from the words, but when you look into it, it's not. It's a shell, you know.
Yeah,
so,
Mama Julia called that out too in 2014. So again, shout out to Mama Julia. So I want to, as we close in this last 6 minutes, I want to transition looking down because you already talked about this, but just for those who watching, the bullet is really filled out in both chapters and branches. So chapters are local chapters in the community, and the branches are on college campuses. And so, of course, we want to be able to have IBFA branches on campuses all around the world. The thing about chapters, right? The thing that we want to make clear is that, look, like we said, how there are commonalities. Like, shout out to Tori, because Tori said, like, you know what? There are commonalities with Black people everywhere, right? He was talking about he was somewhere in Africa, and they set up like a barber shop with a car battery. Like, he still found a barber shop in the middle of somewhere in Africa. But
I love it.
while there are commonalities, there are also differences locally, right? So what y'all gonna work on in Birmingham might look a little bit different from what we're doing, what they're doing in St. Louis, what will look different in Virginia. So could y'all share with us, like, what, just to give the people a sense of what might a chapter look like in Birmingham? Oh, and one more thing. We do ask that all of our chapters do books and breakfasts. So y'all want to talk about that? Y'all want me to cover it?
Well, we could answer your question a little bit as it relates to Birmingham. And then we'll talk about books and breakfast, and we'll talk about some other things, some other ideas that we have.
All right, cool.
So also what he's saying, it affects demographically, but it also affects the person or the people of that chapter, right? So if our chapter got all people who love gardens and farming, that's what our chapter gonna be about, because that's what people want. So particularly with us here in Birmingham, with me and Z, our forte at this point are children and education, right? So if we were to build a chapter like we're doing, it'd have a strong focus on our youth. It'll have a strong focus on mentoring programs, training our youth up to be our next leaders,
our elders,
right? Leadership development, and again, connecting our youth with our elders. So those are the things that are big to us. We are big on the self-defense aspect, right? So making sure brothers and sisters are healthy, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So here in Birmingham, it'll look like programs specifically for our youth. Right, we do have a lot of programs already serving the hunger needs, right? Serving a few of the other needs, so we wouldn't create another program. We'll just be in solidarity with them, and that's also what the IBFA Birmingham would look like: the solidarity with the people, with the brothers and sisters specifically that are doing the work on the ground already. The books and breakfast program. So definitely. So for Birmingham, again, most of our students or most of the youth go to school during the year. So our books and breakfast program, that's something that we definitely looking forward to doing in the summer, right? When the children are off. But we are looking for other areas and other programs, and I'm developing one right now that I was talking about with documentaries and dinner, right, where we show a documentary, feed the people, and
documentary discussion and dinner.
So again, that's something that we're working on right now as it relates for Birmingham, because we know that's what's needed.
Right.
The bottom line is, Ubuntu. I am because we are. So no matter if you're building a branch or you're building your chapter,
everybody responsible for everybody.
Everybody, we're all responsible.
No matter who's in charge, quote unquote.
And everybody play their role. So ain't no role more important than your role, right? So yeah, that's what it'll look like, and hopefully everybody's able to at least spread this information, or create some formations in your community. And we hope to lead by example. So hopefully next year by this time we'll have some programs, we'll have some things in place to show you what you can build in your areas.
Bro, that was fire. I always give Bo and Z their flowers off on camera, but I was giving their flowers now, y'all. They be faithful every Thursday. They be killing it, y'all. That was fire.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to say that what was dope about your example was how you, and let me say this, mistake I see young organizers make. They act like they're the only ones organizing.
Right.
So like this happened, especially post 2014. People act like they come into the community and I'm gonna save the world. Like, yo, pump your brakes. Like, people been doing this work for a long
30 years, okay? Right, you done threw one damn rock and you think you really look. You doing something.
You done fed 10 people, now you done
right. You're a revolutionary. So what I really appreciated about the way you explain how specific and how it can play a role within what has already been going on within that community. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Y'all want to wrap it up? Y'all want to make closing words? Y'all want to wrap it up? How y'all want to do it?
Yeah, so we're gonna let Zasada wrap it up for us.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Z.
Look, you know me. This is gonna be my get your shirts. IBFA, they're nice. Okay, but I've been in every show with this quote that is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. So we are going to continue to do this work, even though we don't always feel like we're being appreciated for it, but that's not what it's about. It's not even about us being here to see the work we're doing, the results of it. It's about those that come behind us and to honor those that came before us. So let's continue to give free. Let's have a great weekend. Let's have a great week. And let's put all of the things that we talk about intellectually that we read, let's put it into action. Let's stop talking about it and let's actually be about it.
I say.
So, peace.
We know how this movement started. We know when it started to go left. And we know how to get it back on track by getting back to the basics. Grassroots, community, organizing. So let's get back to our blueprint for Black unity by doing it how Marcus Garvey did it, like how MOVE did it, and like how the Black Panther Party did it. By feeding, clothing, housing, healing, educating, training, mobilizing, and organizing the people towards one goal and one purpose: Black freedom. So if you want to connect with other like-minded Black people around the world and build a real Black liberation movement, go to the IBFA.org and tap in.
The truth of the matter is that we are the builders of this movement. We are the ones in the streets risking our lives going against the system. We are the policy creators and ground shakers. We are the ones who organize the survival programs and mutual aid for our people. We are the ones doing the educating, revolutionizing, and transforming of the masses. We are the ones that give every hashtag meaning, purpose, and direction. And we are the ones who will lead us into a future where freedom is not only possible, but our reality. The time has come for us to evolve from where our lives matter to where our lives are truly free. Welcome to the Black Freedom Movement.
What if we had the power to bring every black leader throughout history together in this day and age? What could we accomplish? What if we brought the radical mobilizing of Dr. King together with the unapologetically black organizing of Malcolm X? What if we used the political ideas of Fannie Lou Hamer and put it with the successes of Julius Nyerere, Patrice Lumumba, and Maurice Bishop? What if we created an entirely new economic system based on the philosophies of Dr. Claude Anderson, Muammar Gaddafi, and Thomas Sankara? How many Black Wall Streets do you think would exist today? And what if we created an organization in the transformational ways that Ella Baker did, or even a movement like Winnie Mandela did to end apartheid? How strong of a people would we be if a movement or an organization like that existed today? Now, what if I told you that we've already started?